Hey everybody, welcome to the PixelBlips podcast for February 16th, 2014. I'm Andy Ryan. Joining me as always my co-host Dave DeWart. Dave, what are you playing this week?
Stuff I can't talk about, but a lot of Tomb Raider. I've been playing a lot of the new Tomb Raider game. I picked it up on the PC for like $20 so I could do something with it later. My sister put $20 on our Steam account and I was like, all right, cool, and it was only $20.
Why not just save the money for something you don't already own?
Because I can't take PS4 footage and make a show out of it because I don't have an HDMI capture thing and there's HDCP on it, and you're ruining my other show?
What do you mean ruining your
No.
show?
This week's new show for me is going to be Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay.
So that's part of why I bought it. It was only $20. I didn't want to spend full price on it,
Yes.
and it was basically I'm going to buy this game and then you play the first 40-something minutes of it. Whatever.
Yes. Okay.
So I played the beginning of Tomb Raider again, and then did a lot of other stuff for my other show. But really, I haven't played a lot of anything new. Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Killed some time on my Vita playing Ease. Didn't really get much further.
Ease.
I said Ease. Yeah.
Close.
Whatever.
It's like you ease into something.
Yes, I get it.
Ease.
Yes.
Say it.
Ease.
There you go.
Yes.
You know how it's different than what you were saying before, right?
Whatever.
There's no soft C sound. Meanwhile, there's like 8 people watching the show going, no, that is not how you pronounce it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's wise.
Wise. But yeah, I played a little bit more of that. I haven't really gotten much further into it. I think it's like now I'm backtracking through the entirety of that map again.
Yes,
it's not
that's
necessarily. Common. That's not necessarily
that's
very
where,
fun.
That's where like I slowed down playing E7.
Yeah, because it's you're going through areas in which you vastly outlevel the monsters, and there's not really a point in you killing them other than yay, now I get more.
Do you have followers?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because that's what I ended up doing in E7 was just letting my followers
just running, and then they just take everything out for you.
Yeah.
I've got the
Dogi. You got Dogi in the game, blue-haired guy.
I don't know, the thief.
Oh, this might be before
information
you meet Dogi.
Guy. Anyway, so yeah, you have your 2 followers. They follow you through, and you have to like go to the secret passage to get to the other side of the river. And I just haven't made it my way across that map yet. There's just not a lot of new stuff coming out right now.
Because it's the winter.
Because it's February, but March we're gonna have a whole buttload of games coming out.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of that.
Yep. What have you been up to?
Well, for those of you wondering, we're trying to figure out a way so I can also do a show. We have half of the equipment for it, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Roughly
You just need a laptop.
Yeah.
Or something.
Roughly half the equipment for it. When I do a show, it'll be older systems, whereas Dave's will be newer systems, obviously.
Well, I have the capacity to do like N64 and PS1 games and PS2 games. I just don't have like a functioning NES or SNES at the moment.
Yeah. So what have I been playing? Oh, I played Metro Last Light, which you got for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, I've yet to jump into that. I wanted to play it on the PC because it looks really good, but it's like, I don't want to buy it. And now I got it for free on the PS Plus, so I'm like, all right, I'll do that.
There's a lot of glitches in it.
Yeah, when you were talking about bugs, I think it was on Twitter, I was like, bugs like giant, insects? Or like
bugs like
game
things
crashing
that
glitches?
Well, not game crashing, but things that work oddly. Like, I would have to keep changing the controller port that my wireless controller was assigned to keep control of the game.
Really?
Yes, it's very odd.
Well, I'm glad I use a wired DualShock 4 on my PS3.
It might not recognize it. It's something I also heard from message boards.
Crap.
Yes. You can tell that it was a game that was finished and then shot out of a cannon, and they haven't patched it since.
Well,
because THQ hit some rough spots.
Yeah, and they were like a foreign developer, right? Like
yes, four games, or I think it might be 4 or 4 Delta.
Something like that, but they're like a small, I want to say, former Russian.
No, they're Russian. They're totally Russian. And that's kind of the cooler thing about the game is that like we haven't really had a post-apocalyptic game from the other side's point of view.
Yeah.
Can you mute this?
Yes, I will turn it down. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine. Yes. You do talk your bits.
Anyway, so Metro Last Light, it's good. There's some weird things in it. I like how the whole economy is based around these military rifle bullets.
Kind of like in Fallout where it's bottle caps.
Yeah, except like you can choose to fire these bullets off.
Your ammunition is also your currency.
Yes, which is cool, very cool. I liked that. There's nudity in it, and I guess it's still to the point where graphically we just haven't reached that spot where it doesn't look funny to me.
Yeah, it looks weird. For everything I've seen, like I've seen because like some of the stuff online, I was like
there's really cool, like you walk into this one village and you go into a theater and they're doing the can, and it looks fine from,
far away.
I would say in video game terms, 10 yards back, but when you get close, you can see that their boobs are doing really weird things, and you're like, no.
Like physics aren't necessarily
Yes.
working as intended.
Yes. But it was really cool, and the story was interesting until about 2/3 of the way through.
Oh, have you already beat it?
I've already beaten it. It's about a 10-hour game.
Oh, okay.
So then I went back and played. I've been playing Fallout Game of the Year Edition steadily, so I've also been playing that. And the problem is, the first time I played Fallout 3, I ended up getting stuck. There was a glitch where I couldn't get into the radio station anyway. Like, there was no way to get into it. Every access point,
Yeah, it was disabled for some reason.
Yeah, so I couldn't get further in the game, so I just stopped playing it.
Aw.
So at that point, I put like 15 hours into the game. So now I'm still in that early game 15 hours, and I'm trying to do things I didn't do before, just so I don't get bored.
Yeah. I gotcha. I mean, I had something similar to what you have happen in Fallout happen to me in Kingdoms of Amalur.
Yeah.
I got like 20 hours into that game, and then I hit a game-breaking glitch, and it's like, you can't fast travel. You can't do anything that makes this game easier. You have to run everywhere, and that made that game a slog. And I was just like, no, I'm done.
Yeah. So that was years ago that happened to me in Fallout 3. So the good news is I'm back into Fallout. The problem is I'm still not used to being as underpowered as I am.
Well, that's okay. Just, work up your sniping abilities, and
That's
you'll be able to one-shot dudes without having to use VATS.
So, but the problem is early in the game, a lot of what you're doing is going through little dungeons, and sniping doesn't work good against the fire ants.
No, or the big cockroach things or any of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've been oscillating between an assault rifle and a hunting rifle, and not using my sniper rifle that I got.
I think they're all the same ability.
They are.
Yeah, so it's all big guns or long guns or something like that.
But it's not like Skyrim or Daggerfall or any of the Elder Scrolls games, where as you use something, you get better at it.
Yeah.
It's a straight level system, and you have to put skill points in things. And
yeah, it is.
so I can still get frustrated when it's like, you can't, unlock this safe because you don't have 50 skill in lockpicking. And I'm just like, damn it.
Yeah, that's true. I remember playing Fallout and being like, well, my hacking skills suck, so all I have is giant ASCII marks everywhere, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing with it.
So I've been playing through that again, and I'll probably continue this playthrough for a long time. Let's see, what else did I play?
Well, you could dump a lot of hours into Fallout, and it came with what, all the DLC,
all the
right?
DLC packs. That's why I bought it, because I found it at a store closing sale for
like $15.
Well, it was ended up being like $4.
Oh shit!
And it was the Game of the Year edition with all the stuff added into it.
Well, that's the way to do it.
I've also ran into an interesting bug where it will it'll fire off a shot whenever you unpause the game, and you can't do anything else. You can move around the world, but you can't talk to people. You can't interact with anything, and you can't shoot your gun anymore. So 3 times already in 8 hours of playing it, I've had to stop, exit all the way out of the game, come all the way back in. And it just frustrates me when stuff like that happens, because I feel like it's a move back from Skyrim, where even though Skyrim had its major problems, especially on the
Fallout
PS3.
3 came out before Skyrim as well, so.
But especially on the PS3, Skyrim had its major problems, but it still functioned in those first 10 hours really well.
Yeah.
And for me, texture pop is becoming a problem, and their invisible walls are becoming a problem.
Well, it is an older system.
Yeah.
It has its physical, technical limitations and stuff, and texture pop's just something we have to kind of live with right now. You don't see it very much in the PS4 games, because they have all that RAM that can load all those textures in and call it a day. But this, you have to cycle through them. So.
Speaking of PS4 games, I played Outlast.
Yeah, I've downloaded it. I haven't played it because one of the guys I work with played it, and he says, yeah, you can beat that game in 45 minutes to an hour.
No.
If you haul ass, if you don't hide, if you just run from spot to spot, you can.
If you knew where everything was, if
I
you're
think
replaying it and you know where everything is and you know what you have to do, you might be able to beat it in 2 hours. But it's 4 to 5 hours easily on the first playthrough, just because you don't know where everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever told you that's full of shit. Especially if they said on their first playthrough.
Well, no, he probably played through it again, and he was like, yeah, my second time through, I just ran. Beat it in like an hour and a half. I was done.
Yeah, well...
Second playthrough, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, second playthroughs are usually faster anyway, unless you're going to do all the extraneous stuff, which doesn't sound like there's a lot of.
There is, actually. You collect journals and stuff like that. And that's how...
Collectibles.
But that's how the story is presented to you. So, in this, like... It would be like if in BioShock all you had was the audio logs. Like, the audio logs are very good, and that's how the story is told to you.
Yeah.
But in here, there's not even audio logs, because everyone you run into is an unreliable narrator, because they're all very crazy. So you really don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. You know, if you wanted to speed run it, yeah, you could do an hour, but you would have no clue what was going on in the game.
No context as to what's going on.
Yeah. I stopped playing it because I ended up playing most of the game through the viewfinder of the video camera. And at a certain point in the game, you lose the video camera, and I was just like, I'm done.
Because it's dark and you can't.
Yeah, I'm like, my heart rate is already at a steady 120, and it's not supposed to be over 100 when I'm resting. So I was like, it also helped that my wife came home and was like, are you feeling okay? Because I was apparently like white as a sheet.
Super, super pale.
Eyes bulging. So yeah, I don't feel the need to go back. I might, but I don't feel the need to go back to that game anytime soon.
That kind of sucks.
It's fun.
It looked like it would be a really fun game. I haven't had the time to want to play it.
It's fun, and it's. I highly recommend you buy the PlayStation Eye camera peripheral for it, just because it's the perfect game to stream. Because
while you're sitting there and you can watch the jump scares
you're like
and stuff.
freaking out and stuff.
Gotcha.
While you're freaking out, like it's very entertaining to watch other people play. Going through areas where where like
might do that.
hallucinations happen, and jump scares happen. Like I posted a video of like the second or third jump scare in the game was the first one that like got me.
Gotcha.
Because I wasn't like, oh, there's gonna be a boogeyman popping out here or something.
Is that what, I mean? Are they just like what are the bad guys called? Do you have a name for them? Or
They're insane people.
Just whatever you want to call them then.
Yeah.
And crazies.
The backstory is you're a reporter going to investigate this asylum because you have a tip that they're doing experiments on humans.
Gotcha. That's the premise. Go.
Yes. Literally, that's pretty much all you're given at the beginning.
I might put some hours into it then. I might try to check it out this weekend.
And the fact that it runs at like 60 frames and it's super smooth makes it scarier because it makes it more realistic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tomb Raider runs it.
The textures still aren't great, and there's a lot of things that pop in oddly, and the video camera doesn't work as it should work. As like for me as a video professional,
it doesn't work right.
Like I'm looking at like you would have to white balance because those color temperatures are different. This should look blue, not red.
Well, whatever.
I know, but it's one of those things like that's how high up you need to go to get nitpicky about how this game looks.
Yeah. Well,
because it does a good job of sucking you in. And I played it like during the middle of the day with like the windows open.
Maybe that was your problem.
Well, you wouldn't want to play it at night.
You play it when it's dark, so at least you can see when you don't have your little camera thing.
No. Like I could still see, like the gamma was up on the TV, so I could still see everything. There wasn't any glare. But
yeah.
It's interesting, and I think like
I mean, it's a first person. It's a first person game that you don't actually have. You can't actually fight anybody, right?
Yes.
Like you just have to run.
You have no recourse.
You just run away.
Yes, and as a person who is, I don't want to say afraid of the dark, but I am afraid of like not knowing where I am and not having some like locator.
Yeah, like
there are moments
landmark or something.
Yeah, landmark. Like I'm afraid of being. I guess the term would be lost. There's moments in that game where like it forces you to be lost if you want to move forward.
And you just kind of have to fumble around until you find out where you're going.
And because you have no like, the game works well. Like if you're not holding the camera up to your face, like you'll put a hand out as you like look around things, or you'll put a hand out as you slowly push open a door. So it gives you a good job, and you can also look at your feet. So it gives you a good job of what's called the sixth sense. It's basically knowing what position your body's in.
Yeah.
Because like if you're not looking at your legs right now because they're underneath the table, you have no real way of knowing touch-wise what position they're in, but you know what position your legs are in right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
This game does a good job of like faking that.
Yeah. Okay.
And there are parts where you have to be lost to move around through the environment in the darkness and to survive, and those moments really got my heart pumping.
Well, I mean, it's a free game on Plus.
Yes, that's the other thing. It bodes well for the quality of games they're putting on PlayStation 4.
So you'll get, if you're a Plus member, which you should be, you'll get this game for free. So even if you don't like it, you're not really out anything more than a couple hours.
You consider Resogun is probably like their mainstay
for now, yeah.
Game on the PlayStation 4. I'm sure Resogun when Drive Club
comes out,
PlayStation Plus edition comes out, it'll probably be switched out at that point. But like Contrast is a fun, solid, if not great game.
Yeah, it's pretty
Don't
decent.
Starve is a fun game.
Once you figure out the mechanics of it, it's pretty fun. And
Yeah,
actually, half
actually-
the fun is figuring out the mechanics.
Yeah,
of that
that's
game.
the thing. In Don't Starve, I kind of like just making my camp. I don't really care for much else. And Outlast is in terms of scary games, a very scary game your first time through. In fact, the whole time I was playing, I was like, we should stop building haunted houses. We should just build different versions of Outlast.
Oh, where you just have people playing crazy people and then they run at you.
Because it like really Outlast really feels. We're from Kansas City, which we're kind of famous for our haunted houses here in the Midwest.
Haunted houses, yeah.
Yes, I felt more wound up playing Outlast than I ever felt in any of those places.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because it's because the losing the game death aspect can be real in a video game. It can't be real in a haunted house.
No. You just, they'd be like, you're dead. Now you got to go back to the end of the line or whatever.
Yeah, like in a haunted house, like those rooms where they're really dark and you get lost in them, like you're going to make it through. Like it's a 100% illusion. There's no problem. You're safe.
There's no actual danger in those places.
In video games, there's a virtual danger that does have an activity effect on your brain, and where that's not in haunted houses.
Yeah, I get it.
And you don't have to hold like. Here's a trick in haunted houses. You know how sometimes they'll give you a flashlight and they'll say, "Put this in front of your feet so you know what you're stepping on." That flashlight is how they know you're coming.
Yeah.
So that's. In video games, they already know you're coming. You don't need to have a flashlight. There's nothing that ruins that illusion.
Yep.
That there's actually a maniac out to get you. Then it also helps that it's an insane asylum, which I'm scared of anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be?
Because, we used to have a really good haunted house here that was based off an insane asylum that they closed down, which was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the other thing going on this weekend is the TitanFall beta.
Yeah.
So the question someone posed to me on the internet, because I'm a Sony guy, is, can Titanfall save the Xbox One? First off, I think we need to clear the air. The Xbox One doesn't really need saving at this point. Being outsold 2-1 by your competitor this early in the console's life cycle isn't that bad of a thing. It's not like the end of the world.
It's not like the Xbox is just going to disappear in 6 months.
There were tons of times that the Xbox 360 outsold the PS3 2-1.
Or hell, the Wii outsold the PS3.
Yeah,
or
3-1, 6-1, 8-1.
The DS still
whatever.
outsells the Vita. So, like, sales figures aren't everything. Yes, there are supposedly twice as many PS4s in the wild as there are Xbox Ones.
Well, that's in consumers' homes, not in the wild.
Well, no,
I
but
think
that's what I meant.
That's a big point of
that are in people's houses or businesses and things.
You can find Xbox Ones on every shelf, but Sony's very proud of the fact that every unit they've shipped to the United States has sold.
Yeah, I want to say that I might have seen a couple of them when I was at Best Buy yesterday. Like a couple of PS4s, but I saw a lot more Xbox Ones.
I know when I was in Target the other day, they actually came over the loudspeaker to announce that they had PS4s in store.
And then everybody just clamored over there, and then...
Well, I was in the DVD section, and I noticed that when I walked out of the DVD section, there was a line at the electronics
desk. There was a handful of people saying, I want my PS4.
Yeah. So, and... the fact that things like Killzone, Shadowfall are outselling Rise and outselling Forza and outselling
but I mean when you
Super Mario World, Super Mario Land,
Super Mario Brothers U?
No, the Super Mario 3D Land U for the Wii U. That's a big thing.
God, Nintendo, figure your name
out.
I
just warmed. If they would have just said hey, Super Mario Wii U.
That would have been a hell of a lot
Super Mario 64. That would have been better for me.
Yeah. But when you're talking about...
But I think the bigger thing is the fact that games like Knack are outselling Super Mario 3D Land, in the UK and stuff like that. That's a thing. But saying, will Titanfall save the Xbox One...
I mean...
One, one game cannot save a system. That's
no,
the truth.
I mean we've seen
Microsoft believes it can because Microsoft had Halo, which Halo was the only reason to own an Xbox, an original Xbox.
Yeah,
for a long period in its life cycle.
And there's a new Halo coming out.
Yeah.
But the whole one game can't save a thing. We've seen that. Like we're all like, oh, this people are like, oh, this Vita game's coming out. This is going to be the thing that makes the Vita. No, it's not.
No.
It might sell some more units.
Yeah.
It might help, like that Borderlands 2 bundle that's coming out in a few months.
A killer app is a game that will move units.
Yeah.
Hopefully a lot of units, but a game that will move units. But the real way that you sell a bunch of systems is having a wide portfolio of games that appeal to a wide portfolio of people.
Yeah. And at launch, the Xbox One had a better selection of games as far as
for core gamers,
different genres, right?
Yeah,
like
for core gamers.
The PS3,
like Dead Rising, Rise, Forza. Right there you have your. And then you've covered your dude bro bases.
And then you still have games like Killer Instinct and stuff like that. But
I think
there is no first party fighter from Sony on the PS4 yet.
Well, I don't know what a first-party fighter from Sony would look like. PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah, that. But I mean, like, there's no Street Fighters on either system. So this is the.
Although I'm still betting we're getting Ultra Street Fighter for these systems.
Probably.
Anyway,
I mean, you can get Injustice for the PS4.
But I think one of the reasons the Xbox is not selling as well as the PS4 is that the PS4 has knack. And even though knack's not a great game, knack is a game that parents can go, oh, there's a game for my 13-year-old.
Yeah.
There's a game for my, even though the 13 and 14-year-old probably want Call of Duty, probably want Killzone, they can say there's a game for them.
Yeah.
So I think having a wide portfolio, likewise on the Wii U, there's not a game that non-Nintendo core gamers can go, there's a game for me. I thought that was going to be Zombie U, but apparently it wasn't.
Well, and everything I've heard about Zombie U is it's a really good game, but yeah, it's like one of the few titles for that system that garners like an M rating or a whatever the equivalent is in different areas.
Peggy 18.
Yeah.
That dude's voice. Anyway, so in terms of TitanFall, I think at the end of March, I think in March, February, let's see, that comes out in March. Okay, so at the end of March, I think what you're going to see is the sales for the Xbox One will still be behind the PS4.
We might see a spike, though.
You'll see a spike, but they won't be 2-to-1. They'll be more evenly matched.
Yeah.
Because while I'm looking forward to Infamous Second Son, and I think it looks amazing, and everything that I've seen about it makes me want to buy that game, I understand that Infamous has never been a killer app.
No, it's not. It's not like one of those things that everybody and their brother is going to want to buy.
Yeah.
Infamous is fun, but it's not. Oh my God! You have to buy this game right now. You have to buy this system just for this game.
Yeah, I think Infamous Second Son is going to be one of those games that you have to show people. That it's not going to be them on TV going, oh, I really want to do that.
Yeah.
Titanfall, on the other hand, is one of those games I think people are going to see on TV and go, oh, I really want to do that.
And
I don't think it's a big enough push to get them to go over that extra $100 hump, where you're saying you now have to spend almost $600. You have to have an Xbox Gold
membership. So I mean, you have to pay
$600.
Yeah, it's like $620 plus tax because you have to pay for the sub, which is $50-$60, and then the game, which is $60, and then the console, that's $500. So.
Yes. So I don't think them seeing the giant mech game is going to get them over that hump. Also, as much as people really love multiplayer games, there is concrete evidence that shows that games without single-player content do not sell as well as games with multiplayer content.
I mean, from what I heard, the single-player content is much like it was in Brink, where it's a lot of the same maps and stuff. This is what I've heard.
I've heard Titanfall doesn't have any single-player content outside of the tutorial.
The single-player content is basically what I've heard, I don't know this, is much like Brink, where single-player content in Brink was all the multiplayer stuff in a line, and you would just play with bots.
Okay.
That's how Brink was.
I've heard.
But
there is no single-player content outside of the tutorial.
Huh. Okay. Well.
So that is what I've heard. Now, the other cool thing is, I think the Titanfall beta has shown us that, like, the people that were upset that it's only 6v6 plus bots don't really have a lot of standing. Like, it's still a fun game. Like, everyone that I've listened to...
Is it 6v6 plus bots on the PC, the Xbox One, or the 360?
Everything.
So all of them. Okay.
All of them. Okay. So
because I know there's a limitation in like Call of Duty where on the PS3 it's only like 12 players, but on the PS4 it's up to 32 or whatever.
No, on everything.
Okay.
Now, I think the other thing that the beta proved is that like those people were wrong. Like that, like it's nice to have a bullet point that says like 56 versus 56 like it was in MAG, but that doesn't make the game fun.
No, that just makes it crowded.
The other thing I've heard of people in the beta is that the Titans aren't as fun as you would think they would be.
Yeah,
because you can't break shit.
Like they don't have the destructible terrain anymore, like they showed off in that beta or that demo footage from E3.
No, they
like
can't. You can't like bust down a building by
running into it. Well, that's kind of disappointing.
Which to me, like, if I was an EA executive, I think I would force that on them and say like, we have this frostbite. We have this. What is it called? Frozen bite.
Frostbite, I think.
We have this.
It's what Battlefield.
This Battlefield engine where you can destroy so much, and now you guys have this mech game. They have to be together.
Put that together, and then we can destroy cities.
But I can also see why that wouldn't be, because then the Titans are super overpowered. But
because you could just take out a building and get like 10 kills or 5 kills because everybody else was in that building.
Which is what you can do in Battlefield. The other thing that I saw out of this beta that I think is really cool is that you have these cards that you can burn to basically, instead of kill streaks.
Yeah.
So there's not one dude constantly running the map because he's got this awesome kill streak raised up, which I always thought in Call of Duty was the dumbest thing ever, that you're rewarding the person that's already doing the best.
Well,
so
yeah,
you're
but then everybody's got the bounty, or everybody's got the incentive to go find that guy and kill him.
Yeah, but I like this card version more, where you're getting cards and you can choose to burn them or not burn them, or they're only good for a life, which is really good, and you get the cards at a pretty good clip. So I think that's one of the things, a lot like the perk and prestige system, that's going to probably show up in other games.
Yeah, well, I've heard this game has a leveling system in it much like all those other games, which, that kind of makes sense because the more you play, you should feel, you should have something to show for it as far as like either new skins or abilities or, different kinds of weapons, attachments and stuff. But, everything I've heard about this game, because I haven't played it. I tried to get in on the Origin beta this weekend, and I waited too long, and they were like, oh, we're out of beta codes, so I'm hoping they'll go open for like today and tomorrow. But it seems like it's fun to be in the mech, but being on the ground is way more fun because you can, take out a mech by yourself if you've got, the rocket launcher or whatever. Yeah. And the whole, like, when your mech explodes, you get ejected out, and then you have this, okay, I've been killed, now I can get revenge on whoever killed me. It's like a second life, basically. So it sounds like it has a lot of really fun things in it. But I can't see this being the thing that pushes people to buy an Xbox One. Yeah, especially because it may not be coming out on the 360 in the same day. It is coming out on the 360 in the not-so-distant future. Yeah. So if you don't play
in 2 weeks, there's literally 2 weeks' time between the launch for the 360 and the launch for the Xbox One, which I think it's a bad. I can tell why that decision was made, because EA said, hey, we want to make money off of this game. Yeah. And you are not paying us enough, Microsoft. So what you're going to do is we're going to make a 360 version of it, a PC version of it,
and an Xbox
One version of it. Since those, specifically the PC version of it's out there, and soon to be the Xbox 360 version, are people going to pay, like we said, the 500? Well, let's assume that 360 owner already has gold. Yeah. But is a 360 owner going to pay $600-ish to play this on the Xbox One? I don't think so. Probably I don't think you're going to get that in numbers as big as it would need to be for Microsoft to win the console war.
Yeah, I mean, and really, this console war is only, 5 months old, 4 months old?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest news is, I think the biggest news that came out of the NPD numbers are threefold. One, congratulations to Sony for selling 2 times the Xbox One and being the #1 platform. Yeah. More so, congratulations to Sony for outselling the 3DS.
Yeah, that's a tough feat.
That is a bigger feat.
That is.
By far.
I mean, and now they're saying, 60% of, was it 50, 60 or 70% of PS4 owners have Vitas now? Yes. Which is definitely helping out Sony a lot.
Or maybe it's 74% of Vita owners have PS4s.
Something like
Either
that.
Or. I think the second thing to come out of the NPD numbers was, for once and for all, VG Charts is worthless, because VG Charts has the PS4 only selling 3,000 more units than the Xbox One last month, when clearly that wasn't the case by people that actually track these things, whereas VG charts, if you don't know, are a bunch of people that work at like GameStops and Targets and everything, and they kind of try and fudge these numbers through an algorithm. VG charts is good if you're looking at numbers that are at least 6 months old. I would say it's great for numbers older than 2 years, but for recent numbers, it's not good, and I think it just serves. I think the reason it sucks is because it just serves to fuel the console war, which is just flame bait.
Well, you know, I mean,
Whereas
but you're always going to have people who love flame bait.
Yeah, that's true. But that's why the NPD no longer releases the numbers of consoles sold, because they're just like, it's just dumb, and if you want to buy the report, you can buy the report.
Yeah.
The third thing that comes out is, I think it shows that the Xbox One doesn't have the legs to compete with the Sony platform, because you're looking at the platform that has the superior rated games. The games are better on the Xbox One. Their exclusives do rate higher on Metacritic.
Yeah.
You know, the system that, even though it has $100 more disadvantage, it has a home court advantage of having their previous system be hugely popular in the region.
Well, I mean, both systems were popular in this region.
Yeah.
But you know, areas like Europe and Japan, the Xbox One, or the Xbox 360 sold far less units.
Yes.
I don't want to say none, especially in Japan though. Like the 360 was just not really worth talking about.
Yeah.
So.
But I think, like we said before, the numbers aren't going to matter until we get into August. I would say August, but February is kind of your first look at August, is what I would say.
Yeah.
January and February is your first hint of what this is going to be like during the drought. And I did not expect Sony to keep selling every system they make.
Well, I mean,
I expected the demand to die off. So
Well,
Sony's riding a solid wave of demand.
Yeah.
And
but when
that's
you think
bad for
about
Xbox.
They have, the majority of both of their libraries are the same.
Yes.
Right? Like, you have the new Tomb Raiders on both systems. You have
Battlefield, Call of Duty.
Like, all
Need
these
for
games
Speed.
are on both systems, and the only things that are separating them are the exclusives, right?
Yes.
And with Sony giving out a new game or two for their system every month as part of their premium subscription program, I think that's helping.
Yeah.
And they do have, like, with Plus and with their store, they do have a wider selection of smaller games than the Xbox One does.
Yeah, but I don't know how much that matters. I mean
it
I'm
matters
surprised how
to
much
me,
PlayStation
kind of.
Plus is mattering. They say over 98% of PlayStation 4 owners have PlayStation Plus. I'm surprised how much it's helping Sony's bottom line, because I know people that are going back, they have a PS4, they're going back to buy a PS3 because they're sitting on all these free games that they want to play.
I recommend that to the guy that I work with that played, what was it? The game we were talking about, I can't remember the name of it.
Titanfall?
No, the other one. The one
Outlast?
I was talking about, yeah,
Okay.
Outlast. I was like, dude, you should totally just go buy a junky buy a PS3 at a thrift store. If it has a broken disk drive and still comes on, you can still download all these games. You just slap a big hard drive in it.
Yep.
You know, that's what my sister did. She bought a broken PS3, disk drive doesn't work, just hooked it up, she paid like $50 for a year plus, boom, she's got, a dozen games she can play on it.
Yeah. And I think it helps Sony because they can put the bullet on their box of saying free games every month.
Yeah.
And I think that's helping them move systems. And I think if Xbox did something similar, here's how Titanfall could save the Xbox One.
Uh-oh.
Titanfall free with every Xbox One.
But that would be bad for the developer.
And for EA. And for everyone that isn't Microsoft. In fact, it would probably be bad for Microsoft because they'd probably have to pay a lot of money for that to happen.
Yeah, they would. They'd have to, yeah.
But they could basically come out and say, this is our new Halo, new killer app.
Well, until Halo 5 comes out.
Yes.
And then next year sometime, I believe is what they were saying.
But they're not going to do that.
I don't really think Titanfall can save it. I think it can't hurt it. I mean, it's a big exclusive that is going to, it will help sell systems, right?
Yes.
People who have been on the fence about buying a PS4 and Xbox One.
Which is why I said that 2-to-1 ratio, 2-to-1
it might become like a 1.5.
Will be more like this next time. So you're going to make up some of that ground, but you're not going to make up a lot of ground unless you do something crazy, which is like giving away your best title of the month, which is what Sony's been doing. I mean, Outlast was their lead title this month.
For the PSN.
PS4.
Yeah.
Well, for any what exclusive PS4 game came out in January?
Okay, I gotcha. I thought you were talking about like games released at all. I would say Tomb Raider was probably one of them.
Well, but Tomb Raider's on both, so.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
But it looks better on the PS4.
Sorry, whatever.
It does.
I mean, I still want to play it, but so that's it. So is my final answer, Dave? What's your final answer to the question of will Titanfall save the Xbox One?
I don't think it will. I don't think it needs saving. Like I'm in agreement with you on that. It doesn't need saving. I think
Yes.
it will help.
Yes.
It will sell units. It won't sell, millions of units, but it will probably sell a few tens of thousands of units. So it will assist in the saving of the Xbox One if you must put a name on it.
Yeah, I would say with how many Xbox Ones we have out there right now, 4 million. I wouldn't be surprised if Titanfall broke 1 million in a month.
I really honestly
1/4 of the audience, especially the type of person that buys an Xbox One, unless what Microsoft's advertising says is really true, and it's not really a game system, and it's the head of the middle of the living room, and moms and dads are using this to control their other stuff.
Yeah.
If that really pans out, Titanfall will not sell 1 million units. But if it's like I think it is, and it's mostly core gaming audience, I could see Titanfall selling 1 million units.
Yeah, and when you think
maybe not in a month, I should take that back.
Maybe a month and a half.
Maybe not in a month. I would say they could probably crack. They might be able to crack 100,000 in a month.
That's a bit of a downgrade there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean 10% of your original.
Million over its lifetime.
Well, I mean, how fast did what was the last best-selling video game ever? It wasn't Call of Duty, was it?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto
sold 3 million in like 24 hours.
Yeah, it won't do those numbers.
If Killzone can sell 2.1 million in 2 months, maybe Titanfall can sell 1 million in a month.
Yeah, I think Titanfall is going to do very well. And if you have to think, are you talking million over all 3 systems or just on the Xbox One?
Just on the Xbox One.
Because I know there's a whole bunch of people who are going to play it on the PC.
Yes.
There's going to be a ton of people who buy it for the Xbox 360.
I think that's why Microsoft wants to keep that Xbox 360 launch within the month of March. Because something they did with their NPD press release was say that Xbox One and Xbox 360 software combined sold the most software units.
Well.
Which is like saying that Ford Motors and Yugo go-karts combined sold the most cars.
Well, maybe they did.
It's incredibly disingenuous.
But I mean, it shows that their system sold more units than just the PS4.
Their software system.
Their software sold more units than just the PS4 or just the PS3.
Yes.
But if you combine the PS3 and the PS4, you might see more numbers.
No, I think if you combine the PS3 and the PS4, Xbox 360 would still sell.
Yeah. Okay.
More.
Well, no. So yeah, long and the short, Xbox doesn't need
saving,
but this will definitely be
This will help.
Be a good month for them.
For you flame baiters out there, I can tell you this right now: Titanfall will sell more than Infamous Second Son, and no one is surprised that it does.
No.
The big surprise will be if Infamous Second Son sells more than Titanfall in its first month. I'll eat my hat. I will not actually eat a hat, but I will eat my hat because that game deserves it. Sucker Punch deserves it. Those games have always been awesome. Maybe we have the big enough audience for that to happen.
Maybe.
Maybe. So don't forget to spay and neuter those Pokemon, and we'll see you next week.